Hey everyone, today we're connecting the dots on some of the key developments happening across India right now. When you take all these seemingly separate news items, a new CEO here, a government program there, and you put them all together, you start to see a much bigger, more interesting picture. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
So let's dive right in. We've broken this down into four main parts. First, we'll look at who's taking charge in some key sectors. Then, we'll check out some really cool progress in society and tech. After that, we'll touch on how India's honoring its history. And finally, we'll wrap up with a look at what's next for the economy.
Okay, first up, leadership changes. We've got some new faces in some very important places, specifically in the world of public banking and also in the military.
So, let's talk about the financial world. Two of India's major public sector banks have new bosses. Ashish Pandey is now heading up Union Bank of India, and Kalyan Kumar is taking the helm at the Central Bank of India. Now, this is a pretty big deal, because these banks are absolutely crucial for driving India's whole economic strategy and its push towards digital everything.
And it's not just in banking. Over in the military, there's been a key change as well. Major General G. Srinivasa has taken over as the new head of the College of Defense Management. And just so you know, this isn't just any college. It's where the Indian Army's senior leadership goes for top-tier strategic training. It's a really vital institution.
All right, let's shift gears from the people in charge to the progress that's happening on the ground for everyone else. We're going to look at a huge social achievement and then a really clever piece of tech that's actually saving lives.
Okay, take a look at this. The most important thing on this slide is that number 0. And that's not just a data point, it's a massive, historic win for social change in the state of Chhattisgarh.
This really is the result of a huge effort. The district of Balot has officially been declared India's very first child marriage-free district. Think about that. It's a major milestone, part of a big nationwide campaign, and it comes after 2 whole years with 0 reported cases. And they didn't just guess. This was confirmed after checking in with over 400 village councils and 9 urban areas.
Now, from social progress to tech progress, check this out. It's an awesome example of using technology to solve a really serious problem. To stop dangerous encounters between people and elephants in Madhya Pradesh, they've launched an app called Gaj Rakshak, which means Elephant Protector. Basically, it tracks elephants in real time. If they get too close to a village, it blasts out alerts through texts, app notifications, even sirens, to warn people and prevent a tragedy. So simple, but so effective.
Okay, so from what's happening today, let's take a moment to look back at the past. This month saw 2 incredibly important, though very different, centennials that really tell you a lot about the rich, complex history of India.
We start with this powerful title. It was given as a sign of incredible respect to the freedom fighter and dedicated Gandhian leader, Dr. G.G. Parikh, who sadly passed away recently at the age of 100. I mean, just look at this timeline. It captures a life completely devoted to India's freedom and social well-being. He was actually a doctor, but he was also a huge part of the Quit India movement back in 1942, and his passing on October 2nd, which is Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, is seen by many as deeply symbolic of the principles he lived by his entire life.
Now for another major centenary, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which you probably know as the RSS, is being recognized for its 100-year history.
So, this event marks a full century that the organization has been around, and it really underscores its long-standing influence on India's social and political fabric. It was founded way back in 1925 by K.B. Hedgewar, and it's a volunteer organization that focuses on discipline and national service. To celebrate the 100-year mark, Prime Minister Narendra Modi even released a special stamp and coin.
All right, for our last section, let's pivot from history to the future and talk about the economy. We're going to look at the latest growth forecast for the country and a big new government plan that's all about self-reliance in agriculture.
So, the Asian Development Bank, or ADB, just put out its latest economic outlook. And when they speak, people tend to listen. So the big question is, what are they saying about India's growth path?
Well, according to the ADB's latest report, they've actually tweaked their forecast for India down just a little bit. They had previously projected 6.7% growth for the 2025-26 fiscal year, and now they've adjusted that to 6.5%.
Meanwhile, to strengthen a really key part of the farm sector, the government has given the green light to a pretty ambitious new mission. The big goal? To make India completely self-sufficient in pulses. We're talking about a 6-year program with a huge budget, trying to ramp up production to 350 lakh tons.
But here's the real kicker for farmers, a guaranteed 100% minimum support price for their crops. That's a huge deal.
So after all that, what does this mosaic of news really tell us? We've seen new leaders step up, a massive social win, some really smart tech, tributes to a complex past, and big plans for the economy. Each of these is like a single thread. But when you weave them all together, you get this fascinating picture of a nation that's constantly moving, trying to shape its future while also making sense of its history. And it leaves us with a big question, right? How will all these different threads keep weaving together to define India's path from here?